The floor to OIPMA.
Mr. President, Madam Special Representative, thank you for your report and for the progress that you have made in protecting children in conflict zones. As you are aware, the 6 grave violations against children are one of the main concerns of the Security Council. Unfortunately, figures confirm that tens of thousands under 18 years old are still being recruited by armed and terrorist groups and states across the crisis LDCs, mostly in Yemen, Mali, Somalia, Congo, Liberia, South Sudan, Uganda, and CAR. As an example, in Yemen, the Houthi senior leader admitted in 2018 to the Associated Press that 18,000 children have been recruited. However, the total number of children being recruited in the conflict by the Houthis and the Muslim Brotherhood militia is estimated to be over 35,000 child soldiers by today. Madam Special Representative, as you are focused to ensure the protection of children, could you please inform us about the mechanisms to follow up on the implementation of your agreements with the concerned actors mentioned in your report? Thank you.
Thank you.
I have a response to the Francophonie and also to the Organisation Internationale pour les Pays Moins Avancés, an NGO that spoke just now. What is the best way to get armed groups to respect the right to education and to engage in joint action plans? First, you should explain to the armed group about their obligations on protecting education and the reason why they have interest in implementing them, and enter into a dialogue with them. Encourage them to sign commitments. If they are a listed armed group, the signing and implementation of an action plan provides the United Nations with a framework to discuss the respect of children's right to education and to work with the armed group to put in place targeted measures. Adoption, for example, of command orders on the protection of education or of disciplinary measures, and above all, immediate release of all children in their possession into the adequate child protection actors. Accountability. We must also push for accountability where we can obtain the criminalization of attacks against schools in national legislation and prosecute those that don't respect it, including members of armed groups. For the last questions posed by Poland, Lithuania, the EU expanded group, the Nordic countries, and the United Kingdom on Ukraine. There is no monitor and reporting mechanism in place in Ukraine, since Ukraine is not on the CAC agenda. The monitor and reporting mechanism data will not be available until Ukraine becomes a situation on the CAC agenda. But we are in contact with United Nations partners on the ground, and a formal request for information on grave violations against children has already been sent to various UN entities. I think you have to understand that the process may seem very slow, but my mandate and the rules that have been established by the Security Council must be followed. On the main risks for children related to my mandate are for children to be victims of the 6 grave violations, and in this case, in particular, I am concerned about 3: recruitment and use, killing and maiming, and attacks on schools and hospitals. Particular care must be taken to prevent these violations from occurring. In conclusion, I really want to thank you for your support. I accept your criticism. We will try to do better. But I want to reaffirm today to you that there is no better way to protect children than to secure and sustain peace. The peaceful resolution of disputes is something that has to be promoted in all cases. Peace processes must include specific language on the protection of children and the prevention of violations against them. All too often, peace processes do not include specific reference to children from that moment on, including in the discussion of ceasefires. There is no justification for the use and abuse of children in, for, and by armed conflict. A child is a child, is a child. From 0 to 18, a child is a child, as defined in the Convention of the Rights of Children and its optional protocol. From 0 to 18, a child has special rights, and those rights are special in relationship to adults, no matter how young those adults might be. Those young adults don't have the same rights of a child. From 0 to 18, the rights of a child include the right to a full education. So, my request to you today is, do not allow anyone, for any reason, to unchild a child. And I thank you for your support. Thank you.
Thank you. This brings us to the end of this interactive dialogue. I wish to thank Ms. Virginia Gamba for her participation at this meeting.